Inflation, while still high, continues to move in the right direction. A better than expected producer price index report Wednesday showed wholesale inflation down in December, marking the sixth consecutive month of declining prices.
It's down, but unfortunately, it wasn't all good news to end the year, with retail sales dropping for the second straight month. So here to break it all down for us is ABC Chief Business Technology and Economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hi,
nice to have you.
Nice to be here.
So let's talk about this. A lot of people want to know, has inflation peaked? Will we start to see some relief? And what does this mean for our wallets?
Well, the good news is inflation has peaked in certain areas, but not everywhere. So, for example, if you're paying for gasoline right now, it is less expensive than it was a year ago. But other areas, the supermarket, the grocery store, rents, those continue to climb. And services keep getting more expensive. Childcare, dining out is getting more expensive. So overall, what we're seeing is that prices are starting to cool overall, but they're still very high. If you look at a typical budget for a family, you're paying about $300+ more a month this year than you were last. But over the summer, you were paying $500 more. So it is improving, even though it still is more. And that's tough when wages haven't kept pace.
So speaking of budgets for the family, how are consumers adapting to higher prices?
One of the things we're seeing, and this isn't surprising, if you're a family right now, you feel this, you're trading. So if it was steak, it's now chuck. If it was buying gasoline, in some cases, people have switched over to electric vehicles even, because when prices got so expensive over the summer and gas was above $5 a gallon, people started to look at the math and they bought electric cars. But also people are cutting back, and that's what you see in those retail sales numbers. Again, in December of last year, that was the holiday season. That's when people spend money. Well, they stopped spending as much because prices were higher. They were eating into paychecks. And the other thing we're seeing here is interest rates are climbing. So that credit card is getting more and more expensive if you're carrying a balance on it.
And Dr. Jen, let's bring you in, because people really have noticed the price of eggs. They're particularly high. They're up nearly 60% from just a year ago. And there's a big medical reason behind this other than just simple economics. So, of course, you're the perfect person to ask. What is going on?
Well, you know, Rebecca and I talk about this. I mean, this just shows you how geeky we can get. But we talk about this off camera, how we connect the dots between economic headlines and medical headlines. And this is a perfect example, because we've been following the story of avian influenza, bird flu, in this country, in other countries around the world for a long time. We've reported on it here before many, many times. Millions and millions of birds had to be culled in this country to control the spread of avian influenza. Not as much right now at all a risk to our health, but you better believe we're seeing the impact now. So from my lane, if you will, over to Rebecca's lane, and that's why, you know, when the supply of eggs literally goes down,
the price,
right?
The price goes up.
I've learned that from Rebecca.
Econ 101.
There
Love
you
it,
go.
Dr. Jen.
Yeah, you know, she just said it. That was a medical reason. So does the inflation have something to do with the soaring egg prices?
Well, inflation underlies it. But what's very interesting is that avian flu impacted more of the egg-laying birds than non-egg-laying birds. So you actually saw a much bigger price spike in eggs than you did in chicken or other areas of the grocery store. Right now, a dozen eggs is going to cost you $4.25. A year ago, it was less than $2. And while other areas of the supermarket are coming down, that area, a lot of analysts project, will stay high.
That's a big jump there.
It
Yeah,
is a
huge,
really big jump.
huge.
Yeah, and let's talk about eggs, because I feel like eggs are kind of like coffee. I feel like one day they're good for you, one day they're bad for you. So what is the latest with eggs? Are they good? Are they bad?
Well, listen, another insight into private life. My father's a cardiologist, so we quite literally discuss this around the family meal table.
As you're eating scrambled eggs.
That's correct. And I think the data in medical science and nutritional science is pretty clear. Eggs in general are a superfood. They've got good cholesterol, they have protein, they have vitamin D in moderation. We say everything is fine, but also more importantly, with respect to cholesterol, we know conclusively that most of our cholesterol number doesn't come from our diet. That's about 20% of that number. It's genetic factor, it's liver factor, complicated issues. So yes, in moderation, 100%, eggs are a superfood.
I'm looking at Dr.
How do you
Jen.
take your eggs? I know. How do you take your eggs?
Any possible way. Scrambled, over easy, hard boiled, you name it. I love it.
Great expectations.
I love it.
Rebecca, thank you very much for being with us.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here. to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.